Hey boys and girls, it is Rock Swords with another Age of Sigmar Champions gameplay video. We've been playing some Death and some Chaos, but we're always playing Chaos, but we're playing some Death today. And I've got a spicy brew using my underutilized cards. There's a window into kind of how I make decks, is that I kind of just look through my collection. I think I have one of everything, at least, especially like champions and blessings. But I look through to see what I'm not playing with and why. And maybe it's an effect on the card, and how can I best utilize that effect? So I don't play a lot of vampires, to be honest. I have kind of like a control-y, really hard to die, double hungering vampire, which I believe there's a video of, if you guys want to check that out. This kind of ups the control meter to 11. So what I'm trying to do is get the most value I possibly can from Bloody Vampire Queens. So when this champion, or anything that it controls, whether it's a spell or a unit, removes another unit, I can bring a vampire back from the graveyard. So we are very much going to try to put them across from something that is going to have something in front of it. And these two guys look like great candidates. So let's do that. Now, obviously, we've got 3 tactical formations to move around, and we're pretty much playing everything that removes. So, whereas a lot of death decks are slow, this one is also kind of slow. That's more or less the Alliance's theme. But it really tries to bog your opponent down. And we're recurring our value where they're just kind of drawn into their deck. I've played Death Mirrors, and more oftentimes than not, I just deck them. So they just run out of cards. So we'll see kind of what we do here. I don't want to take a... I don't want to take like an opportunity strike to the face. So what we'll do is we're going to line this up across. Obviously, it's a Rip Tooth, but his first corner is ability. And if he if he plays a guy and then chops, he's not going to get the maximum value off the ability. So that's why we're playing him there. We also need to get vampires going so that they can go into our discard so that we can get them back. If that all makes sense. We're already winning, 30-29. So, might just stop the recording now. But yeah, this is probably going to be a pretty efficient deck for him. I super want to remove that. But I will show you what we're going to do. So I can devour it right now. And that's not going to give me the greatest value. I assume he's the recruiter he's setting up because he just got his ability off. So now he's on damage. The best thing I could do right now is devour it, I think. Because then he's got to do more damage to get to where he wants to be. He probably wants to remove my guy. So what I'll do is I'll actually jump out of the way. I'll set myself up on the guy that I think is going to have somebody. And then what we'll do is we'll actually play a spell. Because if he tries to remove the spell, that's fine. But he's not going to get his rotations off because he's not removing a unit. So we'll try to backfire his plan if that's what it is. If he's holding a deadly chop and he's going, you play your vampire guy, and I chop it, and I complete my quest on my second turn like I want to do with destruction. We're smarter than that, right, guys? So... Okay, I assumed he wasn't going to stack on top of that. That wouldn't be very smart. Now, best thing he could do is play another guy. Oh, where's that going to go? Alright. So now we'll try to play into that. Because the first Vargeist, I don't really care where it goes, per se. Obviously, it has the most value on the Vampire Queen, but we will also want him to go into our graveyard, too. So, if we go Order of Operations, and this rotates, we should be able to get this back. Do I just want to draw here? Probably. Okay, so we got a couple of those, so... Take some lumps on this time. Yep. Alright, so now he's got, again, a couple threats. What's he going to try to get rid of? Oh, that's interesting. Stacked, even though there's no mitigation. Okay. So, extra action. That's awesome. That's what I meant earlier. I kind of misspoke. We're losing the vampire because it's rotating off, and then we get to get it back. Now we get to start searching for things that we want. So we're going to start with some life. And not necessarily because we want to fully rotate, get to draw the 2 cards. If he gets rid of it, to a certain extent, that's fine, because we're going to get it back, but it needs to be in the discard first. So from here, we keep the rotations going here. I'm going to set one of these up now, just so that we don't get into a weird situation where I can't play 2 things kind of thing, because we're still going to draw a card because we got that extra action. Black Knights also serve as your poor man's Vargeists. They essentially go get another Vargeist from the discard. You've got, I think, 3 Black Knights I've got in here. I've got 3 Frenzied Vargeists. I've got only the one Born from Blood, because that's really just a tutor effect. If you guys ever hear the phrase tutor, that's meant to go through your deck and find something. And then there's also the spell that rotates, heals you for 6, and removes. So, alright. Let me just play into all my cool stuff. So, Black Knight obviously gets the job done on the Waaagh Chanter. What do I got else in here? Only the Vampire. Okay. Not a bad thing. So we'll get rid of that guy. And a turn. Draw a card. Alright. And that's kind of our win condition, too. You know, removing things is all well and good. A lot of death decks, they have all this synergy, they have all this utility, and then they figure out, like, wait, I don't actually do enough damage. Our main win condition is recurring these, because that's 5 every time, and then we've got a couple bolts, and obviously you've got something like the engines. You gonna put something right in front of it? Yeah, you are, because you want that quest. Oh, alright, that's an interesting one. So, increases your ability damage by 2, but it reduces damage from all enemies by 2. So, it's a good thing that guy doesn't do any damage. Yeah, here we go. Draw a couple cards. That feels good. So, we will take this opportunity now. I always check my discard. Yep, we have a vampire in there. We'll devour to put that into our hand. So, you notice that order of operations. So you devour. As you start reading the card Devour, it says remove a highlighted spell or unit. You immediately stop reading because now this effect takes into effect. If it was worded the other way, where it says like shuffle first, we'll say, I should probably do some things. So we'll just do that. if it were to shuffle first, then we would lose the vampire and not get that value that we're obviously looking for. Really important to read your cards and to understand that the underlying theme to this game is you read until something interrupts or takes effect because of your reading. So that's why we were able to get it into our hand as opposed to shuffling it back in. This is also a great candidate to pop our vampire on there. I mean, it could be a setup per se, but we're actually going to do this just to see what blessing we have. Okay. It's never the most exciting, but it's always useful. I want to draw into some tacticals now to get my Vampire Queen off of that blessing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting on the corner there. So you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to get another blessing going. And we're going to do just some damage. Yeah, the deck surprisingly rotates. I always felt that a lot of my other death decks didn't rotate as quickly as I wanted them to. This deck does. Alright, that's cool to have out there. Kind of like another interesting cousin to the Orb of Immortality. This is just going to stop me from taking damage again. So, not complaining about that. So you got to get through this. I won't say 12 mitigation, because it'll take 1 and rotate, but, you know, he's got some damage definitely coming. And without even realizing, we are almost killing him. So, that's interesting. I guess we do this. And out of all those times to have a courtier that does 1 damage, right now it would be it. I could play this guy, obviously. I mean, I guess that's the play, in just hopes that he can't deal with it. And then obviously we set up another Arcane Bolt. Boink. Oh, yeah. He's going to stop the 1 damage. No. Oh, man. Okay. So this is going to take 2 off the top? Yeah. Alright. Yep. Can't do anything about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this. We're not going to obviously play it in front of the Chanter. Or, I'm sorry, not the Chanter. The Recruiter. Because we don't want him to get his quest, obviously. Okay, Black Knight's another could kill you threat. This is great, because this guy bonks. Boink. Yeah, really, I mean, was one of my in every death deck, and then I got away from it, and now it has a very cool feel in certain decks, so I'm all about Cursed Altar. Okay. Got 1 turn, and that's gonna hurt. So now, throw some more threats here. We'll draw another card. Okay. And remove all the things. Except any of the things. Alright. We bonked that one. And against destruction, we're at a healthy 20 life, so... Oh, spoke too soon. Don't call it a comeback. Here we go. Good thing he's got no cards in hand. I don't know what he was kind of hoping for. Maybe a full rotation would have been like Smash and Bash. It's 5 from Smash and Bash, 5 from Skulkers, and another 3. So 13. Oh, that would have hurt. Alright, we got it. So you guys got to kind of, you got an idea of what that deck is trying to do. And it works really well. I mentioned on Discord about how in the paper world you have sideboards. So some people might think, oh, what if I'm playing against all wizards or something to that extent? Well, the benefit of that is that you side out a lot of your spells that remove, and probably like the Black Knights, and you run Dormant Mordants and Shrieking Terrorgeist, which get rid of spells, and maybe the third Mortis engine. So it's really flexible, you know? Again, hopefully the ranked version of this will incorporate the sideboard organized play ideas, because again, I think that's pretty important, and it's going to give people's decks more flexibility. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll probably run this one again, just to make sure it's got some consistency value. As you probably heard in one of my other videos, I like to test something 10 or so times. If we're not at like an 80% win rate, I go back and look to see if there's a card, if I've got one of too many, if I'm not rotating my quests well enough, make some tweaks, and then we kind of go back at it again. But thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. And rock stars your box stars. See you soon.